Ever wonder what happens when your neighbor decides to destroy your life's work with a pair of bolt cutters and a grudge? That's the nightmare I woke up to one crisp morning, when my farmy blood, sweat, and legacy went dark, all because Lisa, the woman next door in a garish yellow bathrobe, thought she could bully me into submission. Let me tell you how I turned her VY Sias stunt into a do-la 50,000 lesson she'll never forget. It started like any other day. I stepped onto the porch, coffee steaming in my hand, the sun just kissing the fields, roosters crowing like they had a schedule to keep. My mental checklist was running: feed the goats, check the irrigation, get the new milker running. Farm life's a grind, but it's my grind, you know? Then I hit the barn, and something was wrong. The electric fence around the goat paddock? Silent. The milker? Dead as a doornail. I tapped the panel, flip switches, nothing. Over at the water pump, same story. No hum, no water, just an eerie quiet that made my stomach lurch. At first, I figured it was a grid issue, maybe a storm knocked out a transformer. But the skies had been clear, not a cloud in sight. I sprinted to the house to call the utility company, only to stop dead when I saw the microwave clock blinking steady. The house had power. The farm didn't. That's when it hit me like a kick to the chest. Someone had targeted my external lines. Heart pounding, I grabbed my boots and stormed across the field to the main power pole. The scene was a gut punch. The thick cable running underground to the barn had been yanked out and hacked through, rubber and copper guts spilling onto the dirt like a crime scene. This wasn't random. Someone knew exactly where to strike. I crouched down, scanning the ground, and there they were, footprints in the dew, leading straight to the fence separating my land from Lisa's pristine, over-manicured estate. My jaw clenched so tight I thought my teeth might shatter. Lisa. Of course. 2 days earlier, she'd marched over, face red as a beet, screaming about how my barn tanked her property value, how the smell of hay gave her migraines, how my cows were an eyesore. She'd flung wild threats, saying I'd regret not fixing things. I'd laughed it off, pegging her as just another bored suburbanite with too much time and not enough sense. Big mistake. Staring at the shredded cable, I realized I'd underestimated a woman who held grudges like they were Olympic medals. Fury carried me to her fence, her smug white house sitting there like it was mocking me, her tacky garden gnomes grinning like little demons. I didn't knock, I pounded her door until it shook. After a long minute, Lisa answered, yellow bathrobe tied tight, holding a smoothie like she just rolled out of a spa. You know anything about my power lines getting cut? I growled, pointing back at my land. She blinked, all doe-eyed innocence. What on earth are you talking about, neighbor? She cooed, voice sticky sweet. Maybe you should take better care of that little petting zoo of yours. I wanted to scream, to smash something, but I'd grown up on this land, learned patience from stubborn soil and stubborn mules. I gave her a long, icy stare, then turned away. She wasn't getting my rage. Not yet. Back on my dark, silent farm, past thirsty crops and jittery goats, a plan started forming. Lisa thought she could ruin me and waltz away smirking. She had no idea who she was messing with. This wasn't just a farm, it was my family's legacy, fought for through droughts, floods, and hard times. She'd picked a fight with someone who didn't stay down. I remembered an old game camera by the fence, set up months ago to catch raccoons raiding feed barrels. If it was still running, it might have caught her. Heart racing, I grabbed my truck keys, a mix of rage and grim excitement bubbling up. Lisa wanted to play dirty? Fine. But she was about to lose everything. I drove to the camera, parked under an old oak, and found it still strapped to the fence post, dusty but blinking faintly. My hand shook as I pried out the memory card. What if it was blank? What if she'd been careful? But Lisa was arrogant, the kind who thought rules bent for her. Back at the house, I jammed the card into my laptop, holding my breath. The screen flickered raccoons, a deer, then bam, there she was. Lisa, for 12 a.m., yellow bathrobe flapping, bolt cutters glinting as she wrestled the cable and hacked it apart. She stumbled, nearly fell, then scurried off like a cartoon VY lane. It was absurd, almost funny, if it wasn't costing me thousands. A slow grin spread across my face. I had her. I called my lawyer, Tom, a family friend who'd spent decades handling farm disputes. When I described the footage, he whistled. "You've got a gold mine, Jake. Property damage, business losses, punitive damages. She could be on the hook for 50 grand or more. 50,000. It wouldn't undo the chaos, but it'd sting." Tom told me to back up the footage 3 times and steer clear of Lisa. He'd draft a demand letter to hit like a freight train. While Tom worked, I surveyed the damage. It was brutal. Seedlings wilted without the watering system. Goats bleated restless. 2 cows had busted through a fence when the electric charge died. I rigged extension cords and battery packs, but it was a bandage on a broken leg. Every hour cost me spoiling milk, idle equipment, dying crops, all because Lisa thought her comfort trumped my livelihood. Word spread fast in our small town. Neighbors dropped by with water jugs, hay bales, and knowing nods when Lisa's name came up. She'd alienated plenty before, finding people for ugly gardens or tacky flags. But sympathy didn't fix my farm. I needed justice, and that camera footage was my ticket. Tom delivered the demand letter next morning, 3 pages of cold, legal fury, demanding Dula 50,000 and a promise Lisa would stop harassing me, or we'd sue. I marched to her door, boots crunching her perfect gravel path. She answered, still in that damn bathrobe, curlers in her hair, scowling like I'd interrupted her beauty sleep. I handed her the letter, watched her smug face go ghost white as she skimmed it. "Are you out of your mind?" she shrieked, while VYing the papers. "I'm HOA president. I run this neighborhood." I leaned in, voice low. "You might run your mouth, Lisa, but you don't run me." 7 days. I walked away, Leah VYing her sputtering. The day passed in a haze of tension and satisfaction. I was still mad, still worried about the farm, but I'd stood my ground. The question was, would Lisa fold, or dig herself deeper? She never knew when to quit. The next few days were torture. Every phone call, every truck in the driveway, had me braced for news. I knew Lisa wouldn't go quietlish claw and scheme first. Sure enough, day 2, she was in her driveway, yelling to anyone who'd listen that I was extorting an innocent woman. I ignored her, hammering fence posts, but my blood boiled. Then her lawyer, some slick city guy, sent a letter calling my claims baseless, accusing me of harassment. It was laughable with that footage, but it stung. Tom called it a scare tactic, nothing more. Then Lisa upped the ante, calling an emergency HOA meeting, sending flyers painting me as a dangerous man, threatening the community. I wasn't even under HOA rules, but that never stopped her. Against my better judgment, I went. The clubhouse was sterile, buzzing with nervous energy. Lisa stood up front, pearls gleaming, microphone in hand, ranting about small-town values and lawlessness. Every barb was aimed at me, though she never said my name. After 15 minutes, she opened the floor. I stood, chair scraping, every eye on me. "I'd like to show you something," I said, clicking on a portable projector. The VY Deo played Lisa, bolt cutters, yellow bathrobe, crystal clear. The room went dead silent. I walked out, letting the truth do the talking. The fallout was swift. Neighbors avoided Lisa like the plague. Whispers grew, stories of her bullying, her petty crusades. Her HOA grip crumbled. But she wasn't done. Next morning, she stormed my driveway, while VYing a DULA 500 check, smiling like it was a peace offering. "Let's settle this neighborly, no hard feelings," she said. I stared at the check, then her. "You think DULA 500 covers thousands in damage, the stress, the time?" She shrugged. "It's fair." I flicked the check back. 6 days. Pay up or see me in court. Her smile vanished, rage flickering in her eyes. She stormed off. I hated the fight, the ugliness, but backing down would have betrayed my family's legacy. This farm was history, dreams, sweat. It deserved defending. Filing day came, cold and gray. At the courthouse with Tom, I clutched the lawsuit papers due law 50,000, legal fees, punitive damages. The clerk stamped them without a glance, and just like that, it was real. Gossip spread like wildfire. Strangers brought pies, feed, support. It wasn't just my fight, Anna Maria, it was about fairness, consequences. Lisa went quiet, her SUV parked, HOA patrols slowed. Then Tom College filed a counterclaim, accusing me of harassment, trespassing, defamation. I laughed, bitter. Typical Lisa, playing VY Tim. Tom wasn't worried. The VY Dale was ironclad. Discovery phase was her undoing. We had footage, photos, expert loss estimates, documented conversations. She had shaky cell phone clips of me working and emails whining about my barn. Then Tom subpoenaed her text jackpot. She'd bragged to an HOA buddy. Wait till he sees his little farm fall apart. He'll leave. Malice, Tom grinned. Triple damages. Lisa's desperation spiraled. She called the sheriff, claiming I stalked her. She pitched a sob story to a news station. Both backfired when I showed the VY Dale. The sheriff warned her about false reports. The station dropped her story. At the preliminary hearing, Tom laid out our case with brutal precision. The VY Dale played Lisa in her bathrobe, bolt cutters gleaming. The courtroom squirmed. The judge nearly laughed. Her lawyers, sleepwalking, defense flopped. The judge warned her, keep lying, face penalties. Her lawyer begged to settle. Part of me wanted a trial, to see her crushed publicly. But the farm needed healing, my family's legacy needed peace. At the settlement meeting, Lisa sat stiff, clutching her purse, avoiding my eyes. Her lawyer offered due law 15,000. Tom countered. Due law 50,000, public apology, no contact, no trespass. No deals. Lisa hissed. Fine, I'll pay, no apology. Tom slid her texts across. Her face crumpled as she realized she was caught. She signed due law 50,000, apology at the HOA meeting, no contact. She stormed out, heels clicking. Driving home, sunlight broke through clouds, gilding the fields. Neighbors waited at the barn, clapping, shaking my hand. This wasn't just my win, it was the community's. The due law 50,000 came fast, with a curt letter. We fixed the lines, added a generator, new fences, topped her security. The farm roared back, goats playful, crops lush, cows calm. A neighbor kid brought a trophy, golden toy bolt cutters, inscribed, "To the man who cut the nonsense." I laughed till I choked up. At the HOA meeting, Lisa read her apology, trembling, red-faced, hating every word. The packed room stayed silent, no comfort, just justice. She resigned as president, put her house up for sale, and vanished, rumors saying she fled to start over. I wished her no harm, but her absence was a relief. The town breathed easier, smiles returned, conversations lightened. The new HOA president, Mr. Evans, rebuilt trust, listening, not dictating. The farm thrived, crops tall, animals spirited, business booming. We hosted a harvest festival, packed with games, food, music. Families laughed, kids milked goats, a band played under open skies. At dusk, neighbors surprised me with that polished wire cutter trophy, now engraved. To the farmer who defended us all. Cheers erupted, and I stood there, speechless, heart full. Sitting on my porch that night, stars waking, crickets singing, I thought of Lisa's storm and how it passed. The farm stood stronger, not from revenge, but from standing firm for something bigger. As dawn broke, I walked the fields, dew soaking my boots, cameras blinking, plans for expansion sparking. This was my home, my life, and no yellow-robed tyrant would ever take it. Some fights aren't won with fury, but with patience, truth, and roots too deep to pull. And standing in that rich soil, I knew this future was mine to keep.